The Jenn Royster Show, intuitive guidance to inspire your life, is an inspirational hour that'll take you on an epic metaphysical journey to discover the spiritual approach to life's greatest challenges. Dr. Jenn Royster is an internationally known intuitive counselor, spiritual teacher, and energy healer. Imagine having the ability to use your innate positive energy to dissolve the stuckness in your life, whether it's emotional, physical, or spiritual, through this incredible dynamic show. Get ready to be transformed from Dr. Jenn's live guided healing meditations and intuitive readings, and unveil the power of connecting to spirit, the angels, and your higher self. Dr. Jenn is passionate about helping you find the answers you're looking for through an inward journey that'll strengthen your connection to spirit and help you trust your intuition. Now, here's your host, Dr. Jenn Royster.
Hello everyone, welcome to the show. I'm Dr. Jenn, and today we are going to talk about the metaphysical properties of magnetite. Magnetite is an ore. It's also part of the healing crystal collection. But we're also going to look at some of the science where they find magnetite in our brain, in our pituitary, and how this is all connected with intuition and our connection to higher dimensions, realms, your higher self, your psychic abilities, any spiritual connections you may have with angels or spirit guides, things like that. So we're going to look at both. We're going to look at what the science is saying about this substance, and then we're going to look at how you can use this, to help open up and work with your third eye, which is the sixth chakra. Right in the center, right here between your eyebrows. This is your second sight, also known as second sight. And if that's closed, it's more difficult, obviously, or if it's imbalanced. But if it's open and balanced, sometimes they can be open too much. Sometimes they're not open at all. Our chakras, those are energy systems throughout the body that process energy. Kind of like an energy transformer is what I call them. So that's what we're going to talk about today. Different, a little bit different, but I love this. It's all part of the metaphysical topics that we like to focus on. We like to explore metaphysical topics. We like to explore spiritual connection. A lot of people are empathic, or they're having a spiritual awakening, and they're just trying to find and understand how they all fit into this whole process. Why are you here on earth? What is your purpose? Things like that. I'm very passionate about helping people figure it out, find what they want that's right for them, not tell them how to think or believe. You may or may not relate to anything I'm saying, but it might be a clue or get you on the right path to something else. So what I do is I share my experiences, things I know, things that have helped me. And I've been on this path pretty long, so just trying to sort it out with you, so to speak. We've all been through a lot. We're all going through a lot of growing pains right now, but we have a lot of opportunities ahead of us and new pathways continually opening up, new doorways opening up for us to take different paths in our life. But are we seeing them? And you want to be able to trust your intuition, not what somebody else thinks you should do. There's a lot of that out there. And I'll try things on to see if they work for me. If they don't, they don't. And a lot of times I'll try things. I try things more that don't work than I do that do, you know. And you have to just be willing to try things. And if they work for you, great. If they don't, keep moving, find what does. That's a really important point that I want to make in this before we get started. So I want to welcome everyone to the show. If you're listening live, we're right on top of a holiday, so I'm not sure. Usually when we get close to holidays, we have a lot of people that listen on archive later. But if you're with us, welcome to the show. Let me start diving into this. I want to get some of this information out to you. And then if you join me in my YouTube live chat, you can throw some questions out there, and we'll get to those in a little bit. First of all, let's talk about this magnetite. Let me describe the magnetite to you. Magnetite is it's a black brownish gray. It's found in a lot of countries, United States, Canada, India, Mexico, Romania, Italy, Finland, and Austria. It's found in a lot of different places, probably more than that. It is one of the most magnetic substances on Earth. I know, magnetite, hence the name, right? It's used a lot with healing and energy, where it helps balance the polarities, it helps the positive, negative, so to speak, it helps to draw things out. But what's interesting is we have an electromagnetic field around us, we have one around the Earth, and they're finding in science that it's in our brain. Little particles are in our brain and our pituitary. So this is a very magnetic source, and then we have this electromagnetic field. They also find it in other things, animals, insects. It's pretty much everywhere. It's just part of the existence here. It's part of everything. And I believe that that ties us into something, and they've been studying it and seeing it. It's just very interesting. So I'm looking at this going, this is more of a grounding stone. It can help the way you use it. It can help with negative energy, so you're not absorbing it and hanging on to it. It can help your own biomagnetic field. It's used a lot in magnetic therapy, if you think about that. It's used in magnetic therapy, and it helps just move energy that might not be moving properly. So I like that. Sometimes people use it for injuries in sports or joints that hurt. That's part of the magnetic therapy. It's just different. It can work with emotions, negative emotions like anger and resentment, and things that are affecting you and causing roadblocks for you as you move forward, like just things you won't let go of. It can help move energy that way. So it has a lot that it can bring. It can stabilize an environment, whether it's emotional, physical, your spiritual, wherever you got going on. And because it's in our mind, in our brain, think about that with thoughts or your connections, and are you trusting your intuition? So I saw that to be very, very powerful here. So now I'm giving you a little bit of an overview. Let me tell you about the sixth chakra. The sixth chakra, like I said, is right here between your eyebrows, also known as the third eye. It's about your second sight. It's about your intuition. It's about seeing, not physically, but seeing clearly the bigger picture, so to speak. It's being able to see things beyond this physical world, seeing where you're going, clearly finding a path for yourself. And if this is closed off, sometimes it is if we're afraid of the future. Fear of the future, fear of fretting and worrying about what's going to happen tomorrow will pretty much close this one off a lot. It does for a lot of people. Some people are hung on to the past. Some people are afraid of the future. Sometimes it's just associated with not wanting to see what's out there, being afraid of what might happen, things like that. The third eye, balancing this one and opening it, is a doorway to your intuition. You want that one open if you want your intuition connecting and being of service to you. Because if you don't trust your intuition, how are you going to make choices confidently? How are you going to move forward? And you want to be able to trust that, not second guess it, not constantly need reassurance from somebody outside of you, anything. I mean, including me, I do readings, yes. But what I really want is for you to trust your instincts. If you don't trust them, then do you trust anybody? I want you to ask yourself that. If you don't trust yourself, how is it that you can trust other people? Why would that be? Everybody's going to have a different answer for that. That's an individual thing. But it's something to ask yourself, like, why don't I trust that? Why don't I have a trust for that? If you trust your intuition, a lot of that fear of the future falls away. It does, because now you're trusting, you have confidence with what you're seeing laying before you ahead on a path to take. You see things like, oh, that's a possibility. That's a possibility. That's an option, instead of everything that could go wrong, you see? So it's really important. So I thought this was a great one to work with. And the pineal gland, that one, it's also known as the third eye. That's all the same thing. That is where the second sight comes from. But it's also known as the seat of the soul. It's been known to be that, where the soul, have you ever heard, you look through the eyes and you're seeing the soul? It kind of connects with that a little bit. And not your physical eyes, that true vision, your spiritual vision. I know so many people want to see, clairvoyance is very connected to this one. To see clairvoyantly, this one is open and balanced. Some people are afraid of what they're going to see, and that's okay. Some people don't want to see it. But if this magnetite is within our physical bodies, the universe is already providing things to help us out, to help us get things going on here. We just have to show up. We have to show up and be a participant. We have to want it, because it's not going to force it. And a lot of times we just shut it down because we don't understand it. A lot of times fear is associated with just not understanding someone or something. It's something strange and foreign to us. So we're like, oh, I don't know about that. Oh, I get that all the time with metaphysics. Are you kidding me? And, coming from an old belief system that just didn't work for me, which was primarily very dogmatic, just didn't work for me. That works for some people, but not for me. I feel that I have a better connection by going this pathway. And it's not for everybody. I'm not saying that's right or wrong. I'm just sharing what's worked for me. It might help you. So, using healing crystals, some people see that as all woo-woo. Okay, that's fine. They can think that. But there's a lot of properties in these stones tying us to earth. If you think about that, if we have a connection to earth, we're grounding ourselves properly. That's a grounding. That's very healthy, because earth is really amazing for us. When we are grounded, earth pulls those energies, transmutes them, and clears out anything that's lower frequency or negative. But look at all of that it takes. Respecting earth for what it gives to us is amazing. Well, crystals are part of that. These different substances, this is more of an ore, like iron. And I'm going to tell you what, it's very magnetic. In fact, I had brought a piece in, but I had to put it a little further away from the computer because of the magnet part of it. I don't know if anybody knows that. And I always have interesting stuff happen with my computer stuff anyway because of energy, and it just happens. But I always have quartz near my computer because it kind of protects the computers from my own energy if it goes awry, because nobody's perfect. But that's another one. And just to give you another example, quartz, that's very well known. They're looking at using in that, and it's been for several years, using that in technology. It holds data, okay? It holds data. So there's just different crystals for different things. So we're focusing with the magnetite today, and we haven't talked about crystals in a long time. So scientists did discover this. So let's go over that a little bit. They discovered the presence of it, tiny, tiny little crystallized pieces of magnetite, basically in the brain and the pineal gland, like I said. And like I said, it's also a very magnetic sword, one of the most powerful magnetic substances. But it also allows us, because of that magnetic capability or ability that it has, attribute, property, whatever the word you want to use, that's the word I was looking for, property. It helps us tie into that electromagnetic field of Earth. Now, here's where it gets really interesting, because if everybody has this, including animals, animals have it too. It helps them with their navigation. It's a GPS thing. They have it too. It helps, the people that were indigenous tribes that just knew the land and understood Earth and very connected. They knew this, they understood it. They may not have known what it was called. Maybe they did, I don't know. I'm not even going to try to assume that. But we, in the modern society with technology and civilization and everything just getting away from nature, we forget that we have these natural GPS guides that the universe has provided to us. We forget that we have that already right within us. It's just connecting to it. Your intuition is part of your GPS. It's huge. All of that's connected. So we already have an internal compass, an inner knowing that knows which way is best for you. That's why I put so much emphasis on that being so important for you and understanding how to connect with that. So it helps you navigate. It helps you navigate what you're sensing or picking up. You may feel something that doesn't feel right to you and you don't understand why, but do you trust it? You're like, I don't really know why this is feeling off, but, and then you'll either talk yourself out of it or second guess it, or you'll trust it and just go with it, right? And sometimes we listen to our intuition and we go with it, and then we, the immediate response is, oh, I don't know if that was the right thing to do. But then you may discover that 6 months, 1 year, 2 years down the road, wow, I'm glad I did that. I didn't understand it then, but boy, am I glad I did now. I've had that happen a lot. I've had that happen a lot. Before I was really taking all these abilities, you know, when I'm younger and I'm just trying to avoid it because of what I came from, you know, it wasn't accepted. None of this was really accepted very well. And for the ones that did, everybody just kind of did it quietly and nobody knew. Because, you know, it was looked down on. And, you know, when you're looking at, you know, why am I picking something up so strongly about a situation or a group or person, and then I don't really understand it for another year or 2 years. And there's been several times where I didn't listen to it, and boy, I wish I had. And that's when I started figuring out and learning. I go, you know what? I'm going to stop doing that. I'm going to start listening to that. And then I had to be okay with, and this is when you're younger, you know, and you're still worried about what everybody's thinking, right? And I remember thinking, you know, this isn't feeling right. And then I would, you know, ignore it, and it would be a big mistake down the road. That is an intuition that looks pretty far out into the future. And I was like, this is sometimes 1 to 2 years out. That's a long time to see what's going on. And then I started listening to it. Then it took me through the lessons of, you don't need to worry about what they're saying. They may not understand why you're doing what you're doing now, but down the road. Sometimes it's been 10 years. But the more I trusted it, the better life was evolving for me personally. So that's why I'm sharing my experience with that. I'm sharing, that was the right thing to do. That was the right thing to do. That was the right thing to, and the more you trust the little things, it's easier to trust the bigger decisions in life. Magnetite helps us reconnect with that natural GPS that we have within us, that element's already within our bodies, in our brains. We have to reconnect with that. It's grounding. It's great for meditation and grounding. You can use pieces of magnetite. Magnetite's very inexpensive. You can get little pieces. Let me bring it over, but I'm going to not bring it too close because I did have some problems earlier with it. But it's shiny. I don't know if you can see it. I don't know, it's kind of hard in this. I don't have a second camera to get close. This one's just a little piece, but if you put it beside another one, they'll just wham. They're very strong magnets. You know, they are very magnetized. Working with magnetic works with moving energy in your meridians and through your chakra system. Just like water, you know, we talk sometimes about clearing our energy field with water. Well, this will move things that are stuck. So it's worth your time to check it out. When we're really tapping in and working with crystals or, you know, magnetite in this example to help balance our chakras and to get our own energy field working good, you are opening up to where now you can really expand and strengthen your psychic abilities, your intuitive connection, whether it's clairvoyance, clairaudience, claircognizance, whatever one it is, you know, clairsentience, you know, that's the feeling. A lot of empaths are clairsentient. A lot of people have more than one. We've talked about that before. But when you're in sync with the magnetic or electromagnetic field of Earth, when you are in a biorhythm sync with that, it completely changes everything. There's a whole new world that you'll see. You'll see things beyond what you just see right in front of you. You see the bigger picture. You're in a connection with the universe more. You'll be able to hear and receive those messages and understand better. So I really like this for this. This is also going to open up for telepathy. I practice that with people I know, and we have fun with it, because a lot of times we're just doing it and then we just answer and finish each other's sentences all the time. We're just working with that telepathy, and it's a lot of fun. But it's heightened when you go there. It's heightened. So when you strengthen this, it's going to allow you to work with those frequencies of Earth. And those frequencies of Earth, that's what's been registering in science with the Schumann resonance. You know, that's a chart where they've been watching these big, massive peaks and spikes in the energy electromagnetic field of Earth, and they've been watching it for the last few years. It's been getting really strong. When there's a solar flare, it gets really strong, and when, you know, just any of that. When you think about electromagnetic fields, you're tying into that, and now you're going to work with it, not against it. Kind of like riding a horse. You work with the horse, not against it, when you're trying to learn how to ride a horse, right? If you think about energy, intuition, we all have these electromagnetic fields around us. Well, that's how you're going to be able to connect and tap into something else. You're going to find this, my electromagnetic field, for example, is either going to work well or be in alignment with someone else's. That's your energy frequency too. You know, if you think about that, this is all frequencies. It's like they measure this stuff in science a lot. It's either, it may repel if it's just two different paths. That doesn't mean one's right or wrong. It just means they're not in alignment to work together very well. And then you may find some that really work very well. I find that really cool. It's one way that me as a healer and intuitive, I pick up on things. When I'm doing intuitive painting, almost everything I paint is intuitive, really. A lot of times I'm just putting out those colors, but I'm working with the energy of colors. I'm working with just what I'm feeling in the moments, and then I let the canvas show me what it wants to be. Spirit guides and power animals come through a lot for me that way. A lot of energy comes through, a lot of answers come through. And it always is something that I was asking. It's something that I was asking. When I'm doing those readings and painting those readings for someone else, it's the same thing. It just really connects the energy. And then it's just really just, you know, kind of putting that out there in the energy of the colors. I've painted pictures that like actually look like something too, and, you know, and I can do that. A lot of times that's what's happening. I'm pulling them out. This is a creative right brain activity for me. So I started off in painting, but then I moved into energy and all of this with healing. And it just took me on this entire journey. And I'm just sharing an experience I've had that you may have gone a different path or felt it a different way. We all have that creative ability within us. It's just, okay, this was a stepping stone to something else and something else. And now I combine it all together, and one works with the other. And I found that's a sync for me. So when you're working with Magnetite, all you want to do is just allow the energy to move. This is one of the things that I learned about Magnetite. Because you may have, like, say, a chakra, and it doesn't even have to just be your sixth chakra, your third eye. It works good with that one because that's where Magnetite is in the brain. So that magnet is going to work with the magnetic field already there, but you can use it anywhere. What you're doing is you're going to allow that energy to move, and you may find that you're resisting it. When you feel a resistance, when you're moving energy within yourself and you feel it, you may feel it as an emotion. You may feel it as a sensation through your body, like a chill. or a vibration, you may feel it as uncomfortable. But that resistance is fear popping up. This is where we have a little spot that's stuck, okay? And when that happens, it's like trying to remember. I know sometimes we forget that when we're in the middle of it, but make yourself a little bit of a note or something when you're doing this. But when you just go, you know what, I'm feeling that, that must be where I need to work. So I learned the hard way, because at first when I would feel that, it's like, oh, get away from that. Nope, now I go straight in it. It's like walk through, you feel it, walk through it anyway. I find that it relieves it, it moves it quicker, and then I can see clearly. It's like, that was what was in the way. Okay, now it's good. It's a big difference. So some will feel emotional. You'll find these different parts of you might be reacting to it. It is really helpful when you balance and align with this one and work with this, and you find this sync with energy like that, because it can help with depression and anxiety. It can help lift you to where the fear is just an energy that you're experiencing and seeing it for that. Fear can just lock everything up to where you don't move. And it just denies you of living your joy and your life. So I highly recommend it. When you can get that out of the way, now you have heightened your creativity, your productivity. You're not afraid to move and go and do things. You're not so worried about, oh, well, what if it messes up? You know, you're just talking yourself out of it when it gets into that. So this is a great magnet to work with. It's magnetic. Magnetite is magnetic, so it's like a magnet. And just think about it. You're going to reconnect with this natural GPS that you have inside of you. So that's awesome. So now that's an introduction. That's what we're talking about today. Let me go over and say hello to everyone over in YouTube chat. Let's see if anybody's got any questions. Let's see. Hi, Maddie, Beth, and Dialek. Hi. Let's see. Maddie, I actually started working with Magnetite this week, hoping it may help with some of the headaches I've been getting. It should. Those headaches, tension too. I felt tension as soon as I read that, Maddie. Check to make sure you're not like this, or, work with the neck too, down lower. Neck and shoulders. And the reason I'm saying that, you may have, it feels like a 5th and 6th chakra for you, because the 5th chakra is a control center as well. Like if we feel like this, or our neck is tight and we have the tension with the headaches, it's I don't want to say stubborn, but it's kind of like energy that's really stuck, that's stubborn to move. So work with the 5th and 6th for you. See if that helps with those headaches. I'd love some feedback on that, and I hope it does help you with your headaches. Okay, we have a question. Hello, this is from Dialek, or I'm not sure if that's how you pronounce it. Hello, Jen. It's been a long time since I couldn't catch you live on YouTube. I'm so happy to see you. Well, welcome back. It's great to see you too. I have a question for you. I have been feeling that I will go through with a transformation and change soon, but I don't know what will happen, and it's making me nervous. What should I do for it? So it feels really unknown. It feels big. It feels like it's a big shift, right? Have you been seeing a lot of 5s? Have you been feeling 5s or anything like that? And just to keep everything a reminder, yesterday was that very rare super blood moon eclipse. And there was energy with that one that was unexpected things to fall out of your life or change. Not a negative, but just something big would change. Some of us felt that, some of us didn't. If you had already moved through those changes, it was probably a very mild moon for you. You may still be feeling that. Yes, you're seeing 5s. 5s are a energy message. That number means change, big change. If you're seeing multiple ones, that means it's magnified. Like if it's a 5-5 or 5-5-5, or you're constantly waking up at 5:55, things like that. That means, yes, big change. Here's the good part. Here's the good part. This change is, let's put it this way. It feels stressful, yes. Any kind of change feels stressful. I mean, when there's a positive thing coming into our lives, like say you're graduating from high school or college, or you're starting a new job, you're nervous, but it's stressful, but it's exciting and positive. It's what you want, but you're still nervous about it. This is like that. This is a big change that will benefit you. And I'm getting the number 5 again in 5 years. I'm feeling in 5 years, this is all going to make so much sense. Not that you're going to be going through crazy for 5 years, but it's starting to evolve and redirect your path. Not in a bad way. What I highly recommend is definitely meditation. When you're meditating, you could use this magnetite to help your focus to release the fears. This is going to help a lot. You've been seeing a lot of 5s. Okay, yeah, the 5s are all over you. It's like 5, 5, 5, 5, 5. Yeah, this is big for you. This is your turning point, one of your major turning points in life that's going to just change everything for the better for you if you can move the fear out of the way. Some of it will be challenging. It always is when it's big changes. I mean, even if it's something we want, it can be a big challenge. You're going to be learning a lot. What I feel in the next 2 to 3, I'm getting a lot of numbers with you. I'm just really getting a strong connection. 5 years, it should be you're there. In 2 to 3, for the next 2 or 3 years, you're going to be learning a lot about something you don't know anything about. You're going to be learning a lot. Just open your mind to explore something that maybe you never were interested in before is what I'm picking up. I'm also picking up, you're just really open. Somebody really wanted to talk to you today. You've been asking for some help, obviously, because it's just chatter. So 2 to 3 years, I'm also feeling that you're going to have a perspective change on some part of your life, something you were really just feeling real strong about, maybe even stubborn. You're going to have a turnaround on that, and you're going to see it differently, and you're going to go, wow, I just never saw it that way before, and you're going to let it go. You'll go through forgiving yourself for that part. There's a lot of information coming in for you. So I hope that's making sense. That's quite a bit. But I want you to don't be afraid of it. It will feel stressful, but don't be afraid of it. It will feel emotional at times because it's such a big change. But anytime we see the 5s, it's a lot of change. The magnetite would be a very good crystal or for you, or a healing crystal for you to work with. Focusing on keeping the fear out of the way. As soon as it conjures up, I would stop, take 5 minutes and go, okay, no, we're not going to do that this time. We're going to get that out of the way so I can see. Because when the fear comes in about what might happen, and that's the nervousness, just in the dark feeling, it's more of a, it's that nervousness is more of a, I don't know if I'm going to trust that. That's a fear of the future thing. So we were talking about that earlier. So just know you have big changes coming. And when I've been talking about abundant mindset, huge right now, huge important. I'm going to remind everybody, if we are focusing on everything that could go wrong, we're doing a lot of manifesting right now because it's a new shift in the energies of everything. Whether people believe in it or not, they're shifting and changing their lives, whatever they want to focus on. Don't beat yourself up. If you find yourself fretting about it, just stop and go, you know what? I got to focus on something that lifts me up and is more positive. And it's just practicing it. It's like a lifestyle to practice abundant mindset. Because we can have a lack mindset or we can have an abundant mindset. And when we're focused on, oh no, everything's going to happen, it can trigger us. It's old programming, and pretty much everybody's got it. I can't imagine. There's some people, maybe they don't, but a lot of us do. And I've had to fight through it too, and I get that. But you got this. You got this. If you're feeling ungrounded, stop and take 5 minutes and reground. Just give yourself the self-respect and love to just stop and give yourself 5 minutes to get regrouped when things start overwhelming or get anxious, or when you're going through something new. Some people just don't like big change. And when there's big change coming, that part just alone, because it's change, is stressful. I don't feel that with you. I feel like you've been waiting a long time for something big and exciting. And now that it's finally here, it's like, whoa, now I'm nervous. It feels like that a little bit. So let's see what else we got. Oh, you're very welcome. You are so welcome. Journey to Becoming Me. Hello there. Feeling strong urges to travel. Not sure if with physical body or spirit level. I think it's a little bit of both. I feel like it's a little bit of both. I feel like if you just took that one step at a time, because the physical, everybody's trying, ready to venture out after everything we've all been through with this pandemic. But I feel you travel very easily spiritually. And here's what I'm picking up. You're picking up that you need to travel, but you want to be grounded when you travel. I'm feeling like the grounding is really important for you. You have a tendency to be very spiritually traveling, like astral, like you just wham, go. For you, it'll be, I'm all over the place again. Let me stop, pull back, ground, and be present. That's easy to do when you love being in the spiritual realm. It's so easy. It's just we prefer it because it's not the oppression of the world sometimes. But we have to be in the world, but not of it. So grounding and being present, it's more of a physical, spiritual working together for you is what I'm picking up. That's an interesting read. That was cool. Wow. I feel that very strongly for you. Things are going to be on the up. Things are starting to shift and turn as well. Maddie, Maddie, I'm coming back to you because I feel something, Maddie. You need to look at some of your diet. Look for a preservative in your food. It came out of the blue, so I'm going to just throw that back at you. If you got anything you're eating, drinking that has a preservative in it, that can cause a headache sometimes. And it just came out of the blue and I came right back to you, so I'm going to go there. I've got all kinds of crystals around me, and obviously because I've been working with Magnetite, maybe I've just got the intuition and the readings going on here really strong. If you have anything else you want to ask, please put it in the chat. If you're listening, please put it in the chat. We've got some readings. We got some time, a little bit more. We got about 20 minutes in the show left. So if you want to work with Magnetite for manifesting, you can do that too. So let me go back to that for a moment. Magnetite is used for manifesting. Really? Because of the magnetic properties, you can use with focus and intention, I want to attract or draw in or magnetically pull toward me what I want to manifest. Think about it. Isn't that cool? I know. I thought that was. I like that part. And that would be a good one. If when you work with this one, there's a lot of attributes to it. So here we are trying to get the fear out of the way, and we're trying to manifest a better life, especially when you have all those fives going on, or you have big changes coming. And for most of us, we do have a lot of change happening. It's just a big year for change. It's because it's time for something new. We're in the age of Aquarius, remember? We went into the age of Aquarius this year, full blown. So this is a time of technology, inventions, creativity. You're going to see new things coming into the world, new ways of doing things. I mean, I'm seeing it already now. You see it with like renewable energy, sustainability. You're seeing all kinds of things out there. You're seeing new technologies coming in. I'm not really afraid when I see new technology. I explore it. I look at it. Some people go, oh no, that's going to be bad for us. I don't really feel that way. I don't make that judgment until I look at it, and maybe some are. I mean, when the microwave came out, that one just didn't work for me, so I don't use it. I don't use a microwave at all. It just never felt right to me. And, there's things out there about that, but I don't worry about all that detail as much for myself personally. I make sure that I'm going with what feels right for me intuitively. So when you are working with this crystal, let's talk about how you can work with it. If you were to take the crystal and close your eyes and just hold it. Just hold it. Now, as a reminder for people working, you know, you have this polarity to your body, right? Positive, negative, like two sides of a magnet. When you're working with crystals, any type of crystal, this would be the case. When you want to receive it in, you're receiving energy on your non-dominant side. So whichever is your dominant hand, that's the way to know that, if you're right-handed or left-handed. So for a right-handed person that writes right-handed, your non-dominant side, your left, and that would be where you would hold your crystal to receive in, because your dominant hand is your take action, that's the energy you're putting out into the world. If there's energy you're trying to move out, like negative or fear, then put it there. Right hand. So for fear, you would hold it in your right hand. If you're right-handed. If you're left-handed, it would be the opposite for you. So keep that in mind. Dominant hand, put it in the dominant hand if you're trying to pull something out. And you can do both. You can do, and whenever you want to do both, like pull something out and then receive something in, always clear first. Pull it out first, then reset, switch it to the other hand, and now put your intention and focus on what you want to receive in. It's a great way to work with any of the crystals. But with magnetite, yeah, same thing. You can also visualize maybe the particles sparkling that are already within your body, within your brain and your pineal gland, your third eye. You know, focus the intention on that, because they're saying it's in our bodies. It's part of the makeup of our human bodies. So you can focus on that. There's consciousness in every cell of our body. We hold emotions in every cell of our body. Our nervous system is a very interesting and intricate system. It's a very amazing design that we have, so to speak. So what the goal is, you're working with it, not against it. So does everybody understand that, how to send it out and bring it back in? So that's a big deal. If you were to, say you don't have any magnetite, you can still work with it. You can work with what you have in your body already. So if you were to close your eyes and visualize all of these little sparkles, like little diamonds or stars in the sky, you could look at them twinkling, you know? And you could focus your intention on what it is you want to do. You want to send out or clear out, or do you want to receive in? One at a time is best. Remember, clear out first, then receive. And just when you're breathing, you use your breath to send it in or send it out. So when you breathe in, you're receiving. And when you exhale, you're releasing and pushing out energy you don't want. So you see, a lot of these are wonderful tools that we have, and a lot of times it's very helpful when we're putting our focus, our intention on something, to have a physical item, but you don't have to. You don't have to, not with this one. And I think it's great to have them. Well, I have a few. I have all kinds of different ones because I just like them, you know. But you can do that. You absolutely can do that. So let's see what we have here. Hi, Meg. Megan, do the angels have any guidance for me in regards to how I can feel grounded and safe in a world that feels upside down? Wow. Did you just pop in? Because we've been talking about that today. Did you just get here? I'm not sure if you just got here or not. We're talking about that today because this is, do the angels have any guidance for me? So, you feel a world upside down. I feel like you've made big changes. Let me just tap in. You're making very big changes, but some of them are like, oh, scary. Is it going to work? Is it not going to work? You have a few years of it to play itself out, and it will take a little bit of dedication. It's also advisable to have, like, just go with the flow of it, and it's not all eggs in one basket. It feels like have a little bit of diversity and have some options. You may go down a path that feels so right, and for some reason I feel like maybe there's like 2 or 3, and then maybe one of them is going to go, okay, I got to get that one out of the way. That one's not working so great. it feels like that a little bit. And it's very successful as long as you give yourself some options and some flexibility. There's going to be some flexibility. Because of the way the world is shifting and changing so much, we're having to relearn how to do a lot of stuff. I mean, I feel like that. I feel like, wow, we got to just relearn everything. I mean, a lot of things, technology, you name it, is shifting so quickly. Grounding in an upside down world. It's feeling upside down because it's reflecting back to us what we need to change and shift and lift up. Sometimes we just feel we feel outdated, and we're not. We just need to change how we're approaching something. We get so busy with life that what used to work 10, 15, 20 years ago, it's just not working like that anymore. It feels like it's something like that, Megan. I hope that that's making sense. Let me know. Let me know, and I'm going to get back. I'll give you it takes a few minutes for the responses to come through. So we have Jennifer. Hi, Jennifer. Hi, Jen. I've been having a lot of chest pain and heart palpitations. I know it's anxiety, but I feel I have nothing to be anxious about. I'm wondering if it's sympathy pains or why I'm anxious. Okay, I'm assuming that you know that there's nothing physically going on there to have the heart palpitations, okay? Because I know that I'll feel that a lot when I have a lot of energy moving through me. I've also felt really strong vibrational energy, like your entire body vibrates. You're feeling the anxiousness of just change in general, because sometimes the palpitations are the heart chakra opening. What I'm getting the impression of is that if it's the heart chakra and you're just feeling the energy and emotion, there's something that wants to open up to release and let go. Please, when you have any kind of physical symptoms, guys, please make sure there's nothing physically already going on. Obviously, I want you to know that. But energy always plays a factor here. Slow, deep breathing is going to help huge for that. But I'm also picking up that there's nothing necessarily to be anxious about except the fact that there's an unknown. You know, things are shifting, and you're picking up frequencies more than you used to. If you've been working on them a lot, and sometimes you may not be, it's just sometimes all of a sudden people that hit a spiritual awakening out of the blue, they got all this crazy stuff going on. They're like, why is this happening to me? Because now it's waking up for you at that part. If your heart chakra has been closed to protect you and you haven't been feeling a lot, and then it goes to open, sometimes it cracks open and we get this vibration of feeling emotions, and sometimes it comes out that way. I would definitely look to focus on your heart chakra, because your heart is where you want to make choices in life. If you've been wanting to do something different but you haven't chosen it, you might be feeling it that way. I feel it like that. And so we have Elam. Hi, Jen. My name is Evelyn. I love your program for its uplifting content. Well, thank you and welcome. I want to make my spiritual gifts my career, but procrastination and inertia is my problem. Do you have any insights for me? You know what? It's a practice doing it when it feels awkward. Honestly, I get that. Like I'll just throw myself into, and it's not to push it on anybody, but I'll throw myself into circles of people that they're like, you do what? What is that? I don't push it on them. I just allow myself to practice being who I am. Not to push it or anything like I never push. I don't even mention it. I just allow myself to be who I am. It started off, and this is a great example of what I mean. For example, we're plant-based, we're organic, we're non-GMO, we're self-sustaining here. We do all of that. We have solar power. We're doing everything. We're being responsible for ourselves. So you get invited to a picnic or something. Before we couldn't do any of that. Well, we're getting back to that, but you know, every time I would go, there'd be nothing that I could eat because I don't eat any of that stuff. And so people didn't understand, why aren't you eating? You're going to this buffet or you're going to this collection, why aren't you eating? I didn't push it on them. And I started just bringing something to eat, or I would eat before I would go to a dinner like that. Because I was respecting that that's where they were, but I was still standing up for what was right for me. Some people don't understand it. They think it's odd, but you'd be surprised the people that do respect it. The way you draw in the people that you can help, if that's where you're going in your practice or your career, is you need to be your true self, not hide it. You don't have to force it on anybody. But if we're making choices like that's an example of the way we eat. A lot of people respect it, and then they may ask questions. And then I answer when I'm asked. I don't necessarily go out and just get on a soapbox and go. I mean, I guess you'd call this one if you want to say it, but you're showing up because you want to be here. I mean, we're all doing this because we want to be in this. But that's what I would recommend, because if you feel procrastination, you need to know where the people are that you can help. And the only way to draw that in is to be your true light. So I'm hoping that that'll help anybody, whatever you're doing. You may not be in this as a field of career. Maybe you're doing something different. But whatever it is you truly want, you have to be that. You have to let the world see who you are. That's shining your light. And then you attract what will resonate and align with you. Okay. I hope that made sense. Oh, you're welcome, Jennifer. Absolutely. Megan saying, yes, it does. Thank you. Realizing I feel a sadness in my personal life with friends and family choosing differently than me and reaching for some certainty for the future. I totally empathize with that. For the most part, most people closest to me, no, they don't. Yeah, I'm the one that they're like, I don't know, she does all that stuff. They don't, and that's fine. When I stop trying to need that acceptance from them, or I wasn't trying to fix them, but you know, you get excited about something that works for you, and then your closest relationships, whether they're family or friends, if it's not for them, we have to allow them to choose that. And we have to allow ourselves to not be brought down by that. That's what I think your growth lesson is right there. I think you've hit it. And it can feel sad because we will lose sometimes a lot of friends which weren't in alignment, or family. I know, I've felt that too. You'll lose a lot that's not in alignment when we're pretending, because we want to be, you know, liked, or, you know, we're just going along with the flow. And this isn't necessarily directed at Megan. This may be just in general, okay? But when we start to, if we were that different, and then we go to, wow, let's just be who we really are, which is something that I did, your entire Rolodex, if you even know what that is. I don't even know if anybody knows what that is anymore. You have to be old enough to know what a Rolodex is. But your contact list, if you start to be who you are, and it's a very different person than what you were portraying before, because I was coming from a different system that didn't believe in any of this, and it was shunned on, and it was wrong, and you know, the whole thing. Finally, I just had to be who I was. And a lot of relationships just won't work after that. And I went through that. I don't recommend, and I don't say that that's going to happen to everyone. You can slowly just integrate. But when I started to just, I don't have to change them. They don't have to accept it. They don't have to believe the same way. They just, you know, but you have to respect yourself if we want respect. That's a law of attraction. We have to give what we want to receive back. And that's if we have to respect that that's where they want to be in it, and detach that cord of needing them to be okay with it. And I'm just sharing that in general, not necessarily to you, Megan, but I feel that you're getting a clarity and a defined line on where that is, and being okay that it's going to change. I mean, and here's the thing, we'll grieve some of that loss. If it's a relationship or things like that shift that big, we'll grieve it. You know, you do feel the sadness. Don't disregard your sadness. Know that, you know, acknowledge it and send some love to yourself that you're feeling the shift. you're feeling a shift in your life. There's a lot of change going on, a lot. And it can sometimes lock people down to where they don't want to feel it, and they'll just avoid it. So they'll stay the way they were. They're not happy. It's a choice, it's a choice. It's a choice. Some people just, no, I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to keep it quiet, and I don't want to feel all that. And there's times where, I don't need to be the obstacle or the one that throws the iron in the fire and, causes all that. But the more I slowly, and I did it slowly, and we're talking 20, 30 years ago, probably more than that. Probably about 25 to 30 years ago, I started just speaking up for myself, or no, that's not right for me. And just slowly integrating that. And just then, when I went through a big shift a bit ago, like, I don't know, 20 some years ago, long time ago, I really just, gotta completely do a 180 here and go another direction. And that's what I did. It was big. I've had a lot of loss. But I've also had a lot of gain. Don't forget to look for the things that open up because something else has fallen away. This rare moon eclipse that we just had yesterday, you're probably still feeling the effects, was bringing on some unexpected things to fall away that need to, and bring some clarity to what we have going on in our lives. Now, if you were here at the beginning of the show, we were talking about the Magnetite. Definitely, Megan, I don't know when you came in, but check on working with Magnetite. Magnetite is great for pulling out some of the lower frequencies that are just making you feel heavy. We don't want to pretend that we're sad, acknowledge the sadness and process it, basically, is what I'm saying with that as well. So negative emotions can pull you down, they can wear you out, you can just feel discouraged. I highly recommend working with this one to pull out anything that's you feel is in your way, and then switch it off and then use it to attract in, because of that magnetic ability that it has, and because it's already part of our body. You're aligning your own electromagnetic field to align with Earth's electromagnetic field. It's a go with this flow versus fighting against it. Remember the little tips I was telling you about earlier. You're looking for, when you're working with this, is there a resistance somewhere? Do you feel an emotion? Do you feel a pain in your body? Do you feel a fear pop up? If you do, you're getting close to overcoming, healing, and moving right through something that's been holding you back. You may have to go nudge through that, depending on how big it is, depending on how hard it is. Remember, when you start to feel, and if you find that you're working with your sixth chakra and you start to feel things in your neck, that's a sign that there could be some stubborn energy that's refusing to let go. I would recommend working with fifth and sixth, because there's a communication with that. Communication is the fifth chakra. Communicating with ourselves, listening to ourselves. We're trying to open up and listen to our higher self, our own intuition with the sixth chakra. But then if the resistance is underneath it, it might work to focus and work with both. In general, you want all of your chakras to be open and balanced and healthy, not one bigger than the other. You have a harmony within your system that way. I mean, you have this universe that lives within another universe, and universes are interacting with another universe, and so to speak. But we have everything we have provided to us where it can help us along. I hope that that's made sense to everybody. It's been a fun topic. We've had some really, we've had some really cool readings today. Magnetite is very inexpensive, by the way, very inexpensive, and you already have it within your brain if you don't even want to buy any of it. So just know that. You guys are so welcome. Everything you said resonated. Thank you, Dr. Jenn. Definitely getting the Magnetite. I mean, I've seen it. It's very inexpensive. You can get a couple of pieces. You can keep it in your pocket, like at work or something. So remember, if you're sending out and you want to get rid of something, put it in your dominant side. Put it in your right pocket if you're right-handed. If you are trying to pull in energy and attract something in, put it in your non-dominant side. That's your receiving side. Let it work with your magnetic field. Let it align things. This is like magnetic therapy. You can find bracelets of it. You can find necklaces of it, or just buy a little piece for a couple of dollars. They're really inexpensive. And then just put it in your pocket. I've also, the one with the heart palpitations earlier, you can wear that right here if you have a way of hooking it there, like for ladies we do. But you can wear it, or you can just close your eyes and lay it right there on the center and let it just balance things out. You can use it with any of the chakras. We were talking about the third eye for intuition. Intuition is so important to trust. So that's why we were focusing on that particular chakra today. So if you have any questions, or if you have anything, if you're watching the archive of this, put it in the comments of the show, or you can come over to my website and reach us that way, JennRoyster.com. If you appreciate and like the show, please share it. Please like it. It helps us. It helps us reach other people that this could help. And I think we're out of time. I want to wish everybody a wonderful weekend. It's a holiday weekend. I hope you have a safe, pleasant, positive holiday weekend. I'm planning to be here next week. That one's up in the air a little bit, but I am planning to be here. And I just hope that everyone enjoyed the show. Thank you so much for tuning in and being here. And we'll see you next time on the Jenn Royster Show. Namaste.
You've been listening to The Jenn Royster Show, intuitive guidance to inspire your life. Dr. Jenn Royster is an internationally known intuitive counselor, spiritual teacher, and energy healer. Imagine having the ability to use your innate positive energy to dissolve the stuckness in your life, whether it's emotional, physical, or spiritual, through this incredible dynamic show. If you've missed any part of this show or any other show, visit www